In the wake of multiple injuries, the Blazers have made multiple roster moves. Also, the Rip City Remix played their first game last night. And am I now officially a media member? Now, the Blazers have been absolutely decimated by injuries. I dropped a video yesterday talking about how cursed they are. But in short, Malcolm Brogdon's hurt, Robert Williams III is out for the season, and Scoot Henderson is out for another 2 weeks according to Shams Charania. The Blazers recently updated his status and said it'll be 2 to 3 weeks for the rookie guard. With Anthony Simons out as well, it left Portland in a position where they were desperate for guards. And that's probably the first time I've ever said a sentence anything like that in the history of this entire YouTube channel, because the Blazers have always had guards until now, because they all got hurt, because we're cursed. Going into the season, the Blazers had 14 guys on their main roster and 3 two-way players. You can have 15 players on the main roster, so the Blazers did have an open roster spot, and they filled that by converting Skylar Mays, who was previously on a two-way contract, to a main roster spot. That opened up a two-way contract where the Blazers then signed Jamaree Bouyea. First, let's talk about Skylar Mays, who was phenomenal in his previous game, playing 37 minutes, going 8 for 15 from the field, having some extremely impressive finishes. And Skylar Mays is an NBA caliber guard. I think he can be a backup point guard in this league. He plays at a good pace. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He's very impressive as a finisher, and he can knock down a three-point shot. We saw him play great basketball when the Blazers were tanking last year, and statistically, he's not going to be as impressive when he doesn't have free reign on a team that's actively trying to lose games, but he can certainly play, and he showcased that last season. He was around the team all offseason, but for whatever reason, the Blazers waited basically the entire summer to end up bringing Skylar Mays back on a two-way contract, and now he's already on a main roster contract. We're not even 10 games into the season. That was a really good move, and that's what those two-way spots are for. They're for depth purposes, in case a bunch of injuries like this have happened. Thank goodness the Blazers brought Skylar Mays back, because now he's the starting point guard until Malcolm Brogdon gets back, and he's going to be the backup point guard for the foreseeable future until the Blazers get one of Anthony Simons or Scoot Henderson back. But let's talk about the Blazers' newest signing, Jamaree Bouyea, who played at the University of San Francisco, and I actually watched a decent amount of him in college as a Gonzaga Bulldogs fan, as San Francisco and Gonzaga play in the West Coast Conference. Bouyea had some very impressive performances against Gonzaga. I was really wowed by his ability to score the ball. He can hit threes off the dribble. He's crafty driving to the rim. He's pretty dang quick. He's a guy that I think will be able to score the ball at the NBA level. Defensively, he's probably always going to be lackluster, and that's just due to his size. And he's not a pass-first point guard. These are the reasons why he didn't make it all the way into the NBA. But his ability to score the ball is extremely impressive, and why I actually love him as a two-way pickup given the guard depth that the Blazers need. I actually expect Bouyea to play some minutes until Malcolm Brogdon returns from his hamstring injury as the backup point guard behind Skylar Mays. And given that this team desperately needs offense, they might be the worst half-court offense in the league, I actually think Bouyea is a player that can come in and maybe help this team remain a little bit more competitively offensively with a bench unit that is probably going to be a bit stagnant given the players that the Blazers are missing. So given the injuries, converting Skylar Mays to the main roster and opening up that two-way spot for Jamaree Bouyea makes a ton of sense for the Blazers. Before we talk about our next topic, which will be a fun one, have you ever had a frustrating ticket buying experience? I definitely have. You shouldn't have to worry about buying tickets to an event. Events are supposed to be fun. You shouldn't have to stress. And that's where Game Time comes in as the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I was really impressed with the Game Time app as it was extremely easy to navigate and overall it was just aesthetically pleasing. It's easy to find tickets to whatever event you want, see the view that you'd have from your seat, and it's everything that you'd want from a ticket app. Their all-in prices show the total up front so that you know you're getting a great deal, and you can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. They're also obsessed with finding ways to save you money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour into the event. It's the best place to find last-minute tickets, and with the Game Time guarantee, you'll get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code UPRISE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code UPRISE, which is UPRISE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now, let's talk about the Rip City Remix who played yesterday. I'm just going to run through their box score, and I'm going to save the most impressive performer for last. Now, the Rip City Remix played the South Bay Lakers in LA, and the Blazers end up playing the Lakers on Sunday, so the NBA team was already down there, which coincided with the Blazers suiting up Chris Murray, Ryan Rupert, and Justin Minaya for the Rip City Remix. Chris Murray was 6 for 14, 2 for 7 from 3, 18 points and 6 rebounds for him. Ryan Rupert was 5 for 10 from the field, had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. Minaya was 7 for 12, 1 for 4 from 3, 19 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Really impressive stat line for him. And my guy Malachi Smith also started. The former Gonzaga Bulldog had 8 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. But the most impressive performance came from Duop Reath, who in 27 minutes poured in 37 points, 10 rebounds on 15 for 20 from the field, and 5 for 6 from 3. Duop Reath looked absolutely dominant. He looked like a guy that shouldn't be in the G League because he should be in the NBA. We've talked a little bit about Duop Reath, given that he played on the Blazers Summer League team, and then they brought him in for a training camp invite. And then the Blazers got rid of Ibu Baji and John Butler, the two big men they had on two-way contracts last season, and brought in Duop Reath on one of those two-way contracts. So they essentially chose him over the other two guys, and it's not hard to see why when he has an absolutely dominant performance like he did last night. At the NBA level, he's always going to struggle defensively. He's not the biggest guy. He might have some struggles rebounding the ball. However, offensively, I think he can definitely get it done at that level. He can shoot the ball, he can finish, has a nice little floater. He's not the biggest five-man, but he makes up for it with offensive skill. And the Blazers need offensive skill right now. They're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. They have the worst half-court offense in the league. And watching Duop Reath pour in bucket after bucket just had me thinking about the Robert Williams III replacement. With Williams out for the year, the Blazers have to fill in that backup center spot, and the two main options are Moses Brown, who is not offensively skilled whatsoever, and Jabari Walker, who is extremely small for that center spot. And honestly, I think it should probably be Duop Reath. He gives the Blazers what they sorely miss in terms of shooting ability. He gives the Blazers an offensive punch off the bench. And it's not like those other two options are phenomenal options at a backup center spot. The Blazers are kind of stuck without a backup center right now. I want to see Duop Reath get a chance. Yes, it's probably not going to go great when you got two-way guys playing off the bench with Bouye and Duop Reath potentially, but both those guys can score the ball. So why not throw them out there and see if they can get a few buckets, see if they can spark a little offense within the Portland Trail Blazers bench, because the bench sorely needs it. I think Reath earned himself a chance at the NBA level given his performance last night. Not to overreact to one G League game, but we've known that this dude can score the ball. So I would love to see him play against the Lakers. We'll see if he's even up with the NBA team, because two-way guys are limited on the amount of days they can spend with an NBA team, and we'll see if he ends up getting a chance. Let me know if you think Duop Reath deserves a chance down in the comment section below. Let me know who you think the backup center should be. And to wrap up this video, I have a couple of separate announcements. First, as the head of creative at Hog Media, we are putting out our second episode of the Out the Mud podcast with Paul Reed. That'll be coming early next week, and the guest for that will be 76ers head coach Nick Nurse. If you want to catch that episode, there's a link to the Hog Media YouTube channel down in the comment section below. Also, Scorchin' Trails is dropping around this time over on our second channel, Blazers Uprise podcast. That's a podcast with me and Steven Vaughn, who is now, technically, I guess, my co-worker in a way, because he works at 750 The Game, which is a local sports talk radio station in Portland, and I am joining them to be a content contributor for the rest of the Trailblazers season, where I will be writing 2 articles a week for them. So that begs the question, am I now officially a media member? If anyone's confused, that's a running joke. I'm a YouTuber, I'm a podcaster, I'm not real media, but we're doing some things right now, which is exciting for me. So I appreciate all your guys' support. Couldn't have done anything without you. Thank you for all the support you give to the channel. With that being said, I'm out of here. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.